Hello and welcome back to another video. This really was of interest to me, and I thought it would make a little video because perhaps people aren't aware of this, or I would like other people's views, and it relates to what I've been doing for many years. In some ways, with, as you all know, I spend quite a bit of my spare time trying to restore or repair old televisions, and I also do occasionally a few old radios as well. And yeah, it's been of interest to me for many years now. 30 or 40 years I've been dabbling in this. But you may not be aware, or you may have seen on the television news earlier this week, or have read online, that as of the 8th of July in the UK, and we are following a European directive still, although we are not in Europe now. This is a European wide directive, so we are still linked into that. But as of the 8th of July, the government have brought into effect what is known as a right to repair law. And obviously it very much states what it does there on the tin, as they say, isn't it? It's about a consumer right to repair goods that they purchase. Some manufacturers, I'm sure, would prefer to repair the devices they have sold to you themselves rather than allow you or a third party to repair them. But this has been brought in the UK and Europe because there is a tsunami of domestic goods every month which is just being thrown away. We live in such a throwaway society. If the washing machine breaks after 2 or 3 years, we think, oh, we don't know anyone who will repair it. It's not viable to repair it anyway. Even if we had somebody out, they'd probably say, oh, you can't repair this, it's this so-and-so bit and I can't get that anymore. It's been superseded by this model. And so it goes to the recycling centre or your local council, pick it up depending where you live, and you go off to some electrical supermarket or wholesaler or buy it online or wherever and buy a new one. And this has been going on now for the last 20 or 30 years, certainly 20 years shall we say. And it's been a grievance with me that particularly the flat screen televisions, I was astounded. I took an old little colour tube, very old colour tube, almost like it wasn't a portable, but you describe it as a little portable set. It was life expired, the tube was no good anymore, it's got many other faults, so I took it down to our recycling centre, and I hadn't been down there for many years, and the guy at the gate said, oh yes mate, you want the big steel lockup over there. And in like a lorry container, one of those big, really big Arctic lorry containers that is, shipping container basically, isn't it? That was absolutely crammed full with flat screen televisions. I just stood there in awe of all makes, some Samsung, Sony, Panasonic, you name it, they were there. And I thought, what a waste. What a waste that we're creating. All this relatively modern televisions just going to be disposed of. I suppose there it's dealt with in a eco-friendly way. It's hopefully they're taken to bits and parts are taken out of them eventually, or they sell them on to firms that do that. There is even a phrase that I had never heard of until I started looking into this, and that is planned obsolescence. And basically what that means is these big companies that make the televisions, the washing machines, etc., have been basically designing these electrical items with a certain lifespan, shall we say 4, 5 or 6 years. If they break in between that time, they're made that they can't really be repaired viably. So this is called planned obsolescence, and apparently it's been going on. And you know, when you read into it, you know, between 2014 and 2018, you know, the waste has risen by 21%. To a staggering 53.6 million metric tons. My goodness, that's a big pile of televisions and washing machines. So anyway, the government, and I agree with this, you know, have brought this right to repair law, and what this is stating is, as of the 8th of July, within 2 years, major companies who make these washing machines and televisions have to have a supply base of parts, so you can buy parts to repair the television. The lifespan of these domestic electrical appliances, according to the government, should be at least 10 years, or if it breaks before that 10 years period, you should be able to get the spares to repair it to make it last that 10 years or plus years. That's the idea. I can see oodles of problems with this, I have to say, which we'll come on to a little bit later on. It's a great idea in effect, but you know, I can see many issues with this. But that's the idea, as I say, that the government want more greener made items in the electrical plants field, and they want them to be repaired again, which is, it's what we used to do years ago. It's a crazy situation that, you know, talk about history repeating itself, and it's sad how we've lost, you know, the idea of that we can repair this stuff, and we just don't need to go and buy a new telly or washing machine every time it probably goes wrong. But anyway, I started digging into this right repair law a little bit more, and it started to make me kind of smile, really. Anyway, I'll read on a little bit more to you. I have this in front of me because I can't remember all this, but I think this is quite interesting. It says the new right to repair law doesn't cover all electronic devices and appliances. However, so many people may find themselves disappointed. The legislation covers dishwashers, washing machines, washer dryers, refrigeration appliances, as well as television and electronic displays. Now, electronic displays, that hides and covers a multitude of thoughts there. It says also some non-consumer products are also included, like electric motors, retail refrigerators, light sources and more. However, despite what you might assume as an electronic display, this law does not cover smartphones, laptop. And it goes on to tell me that the company Apple, who make the iPhone, are very apparently anti this law. I wonder why. I perhaps shouldn't go there, but for obvious reasons, you know, these companies would rather we didn't repair this stuff. They just want to, naturally, they're in business, a big business, and make mega money. They want to, you know, for us to buy as many new phones as we possibly can. But interestingly enough, that's by the by, and that's, it goes on to tell me that popular gadgets that aren't included either are cookers, microwaves, hobs and tumble dryers, which are all missing from the list. I mean, how crazy. So they're going to make the likes of Hotpoint and Hoover set up a better service department so you can order spares, or a firm can order spares directly from them, and these machines have to be designed so they can be repaired again. But the companies that build cookers today, your Bellings and all those various firms, they are exempt. They won't have to, I mean, whoever thinks these, laws up, surely it matters not whether it's a fan heater, a hairdryer, a microwave, a mobile phone and a laptop, or whatever it is. We should be looking, if at all possible, to repair that, and the necessary skills and parts, should be available out there. I mean, that's something that greatly worries me with this law, because sadly, and I can speak because I know a lot of older retired people in this industry, and I've spoke to many of them over the years. I mean, our television repair industry has just died a death. I know a chap that had who had small outlets in a rural area of the country, and he had some television shops and also a repair workshop, and he in the end just closed the whole lot down because he said he couldn't compete with the likes of Currys or the bigger boys, which is fair comment, and he said they were having so many problems trying to get parts or repair these newer televisions. For them, it just wasn't viable. And so our whole repair industry, particularly in the TV industry, and I assume that probably runs as much for the washing machines and the refrigerators and all that kind of stuff that is included in this, if they're going to have this up and running in 2 years, we have to set basically a whole new service industry up. Where are these people going to come from? Who's going to pay to set this parts service up? I read a report written by one lady in a journalist online who said she can see exactly what's going to happen here. The companies like your Hoovers and your Samsungs, the likes of these big companies are going to offset these extra charges of having to redesign their goods so they can be repaired and then set this parts service up. They're going to offset that onto the consumer by making the goods that much dearer. So in the long run, is the consumer going to benefit? Well, I'll let you be the judge of that. But it unbelievable to me, and when you have the likes of big corporations like Apple dictating to you that they don't want this and they're not going to be a part of it. So I have to say, realistically, I think this right to repair law, which came in, as I say, came into force on the 8th of July of this year, the government have given these companies 2 years to work around it and bring in these changes. But as I see it, this the UK right to repair law is already in need of repairing itself, because how crazy to include washing machines, dishwashers and televisions, and yet hobs, cookers and microwaves aren't included, and the likes of iPhones and Apple don't want to know, so they're not going to touch it. It's all a bit there we go. Typical of today, unfortunately, isn't it? The world in which we live in. One hopes, I hope it's a good idea. It's a good sound idea in practice, and I hope we can achieve something better than this, and we can go back, to making these products repairable and hence last a lot longer. Because when we often buy something new, in many cases it's no better than we had before. That's the ironical, silly part about it. It's just the fact we've had to buy it because the old one broke and nobody could repair it. Anyway, thanks always for watching and hearing me ramble on about this rubbish. Thank you for your likes, your comments, and please do think about subscribing to us smaller YouTube groups. We do really appreciate it. We do, really, honestly. And it's great to get your comments. I do try and answer every comment that I get, even if they're negative comments. That doesn't trouble me. Everybody's entitled to their own view, and I think that's good. So thank you as always for watching, and I'll catch up with you very soon. And until then, all the best all the time.